All right, so make sure that you are sitting comfortably in your chair. You can begin sort of relaxed back, sitting against the back of your seat. Close your eyes and begin to notice your breath. Draw your attention to your breath. You don't have to change anything. Sometimes it can be challenging to draw our attention to the breath without changing it. That can be a practice right there to see if you can notice without adjusting, without judging and changing. Notice where you feel your breath moving. Maybe you could use the back of your chair for feedback. Noticing how the back of the rib cage expands with each breath in. And then go ahead and sit up a little taller, peeling your back away from the back of the chair. And notice particularly, in fact, actively draw your breath into your upper chest and upper back area. See if you can isolate that area of the body with your breathing muscles. Isolating the upper chest and upper back. Now, see if you can move that attention down into the rib cage, so the sides of the ribs especially. See if you can isolate the rib cage, noticing how the ribs lift up and open with each breath in, and gently relax down and in with your breath out. So isolating the action and the movement to the middle of the torso. Move your attention down a little deeper now and see if you can isolate the breath movement in the abdomen. So you're creating some stillness in the chest and the rib cage in order to move the action a little deeper down into your belly area. So let the belly expand like a balloon with your in-breath and draw back towards your spine with your out-breath. And let that go. And then breathe in and expand all three areas from top to bottom. So inhaling into the chest, floating the ribs up and open, letting the belly expand, and breathing out, drawing in on the belly, letting the rib cage come down and in, and the chest can gently collapse down. So we're going to continue with that action. Inhaling chest, rib cage, belly, exhaling belly, rib cage, and chest. Continue at your own pace. See if you can actually isolate each area as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Inhaling chest, ribs, belly, exhaling belly, ribs, and chest. And then let that go. And take a nice deep breath in. Hold the breath for just a moment, just a little pause, a little lift. And then exhale completely. Draw your belly button towards your spine and lift your pelvic floor muscles up. And then relax. So we'll do that again. Take a nice full deep breath in, pausing at the top of the in-breath, a little suspension. Exhale completely, drawing belly button to spine, and lift up on the pelvic floor muscles, like you're trying to stop the flow of urine. Lift up. And then let that go. Right, so now we're going to draw the attention to the pelvic floor area, and we're going to pretend that you could operate a little elevator down in the pelvic floor region, okay? So we're going to pretend that ground floor is just your natural relaxed position with those muscles, and we're going to have 3 separate floors, all right? So just as in Europe, you lift up the elevator to go to the first floor, that's what we're going to do. So lift the pelvic floor muscles just a little bit, like you're coming to the first floor. Pause there. Lift up a little bit more, you're going to the second floor. Lift up a little bit more going to the third floor. So I want you to imagine that now you've lifted up so much that you feel the lift all the way up to your belly button. Right, you're pulling in and up. Now release down to the second floor. Release down to the first floor. And release all the way down to the ground floor. Now you've completely relaxed through the low abdomen and the pelvic floor. I'm going to try that again. Lift up to the first floor. It's just a little lift in and up. Lift up to the second floor. Draw those muscles in and up as much as you can so you feel a lift inside your body up to the belly button area. You might feel the low abdomen muscles drawing in too on the front of the belly. And then release down to the second floor. Release down to the first floor. And release to the ground floor. So this is a pretty subtle practice, right? I can't show you anything because the action is happening deep inside the body, but I hope that you can feel the movement of the pelvic floor diaphragm as it gently lifts up and releases down. Excuse me. One more time. So right now, everything should be nice and relaxed, pelvic floor muscles relaxed, low abdomen muscles relaxed and loose. And then gently lift up to the first floor. Lift up to the second floor. All the way up to the third floor. So now your abdominal muscles in the front of the low belly are lifting in and up along with all those deep intrinsic muscles in the pelvic floor. Hold it there, just hold. Keep holding. You'll notice that because you're holding those muscles in and up and you're holding the low belly in, your breath may have to move up higher into the rib cage and chest. You can't really do a deep belly breath when you're drawing in and up on those pelvic floor muscles. And now just release everything. Let it go. Relax your belly. Relax all the muscles of those deep intrinsic pelvic floor diaphragm muscles. Let it go. Okay. Start to roll your head around. Circle through the neck. And roll the other direction. And right back to center. Shrug your shoulders by your ears and then soften them down. Once again, shrug them up and soften down. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Make sure both shoulders are relaxed and loose. Drop your head down through center, chin towards chest. And roll it over to the left shoulder. Again, release down through the shoulders, no gripping. Come up to center. Take a look over the left shoulder. Drop your chin down towards your collarbone. Roll your head down through center, chin to chest. Over to the other side. Look down towards the ground, chin to collarbone. And then look up past your right shoulder. And come back to center. Roll the shoulders again. Roll them forward. Give me 1 second. I have to shift my screen. It somehow shifted out of the correct view for me. So I'm just going to put it back. There we go. Okay, continue to roll the shoulders forward and back a few times. And then lift your arms all the way up overhead. Deep breath. Reach up. And release your arms down by your sides. Again, breathe in, lift up, stretch the side body area, both sides, right side, left side, get a little taller, a little longer, and let it go. Draw your right arm across the front of the body. Make sure that you're not squeezing your shoulder up to your ear, but instead you're just allowing it to relax down as you draw it over. Let go. Other side, draw it over. Again, no squeezing up, but instead just relax that shoulder neck area. And let it go. Reach the right arm all the way up overhead. Drop your head back to cup the back of your skull and lift your elbow up high. Try to lift the elbow directly up to the ceiling as you hold the back of your head. And let it go. Other side, lift up, reach back, hold your head, lift your elbow up. And let go. Give your shoulders a little wiggle, a little shake. Reach your arms straight out from your shoulders in a T and roll out through the wrist joints. Big circles. Make sure you can really feel the forearms working and stretching as you roll the wrists. Reverse directions. Keep your arms out in this T. Extend out through the fingertips. Draw the fingertips towards the floor. So you're pressing through the back of the hand and the wrist. Fingertips straight out again. And now flip them up to the ceiling. Push your palms out hard. And let it go. Give it a little shake. Reach your right arm up overhead again. Drop your hand back, cup your head, and tip over to the left. Take your left hand down to the side of your chair or the chair leg and reach out through that top elbow towards the left. Imagine expanding the right side of your rib cage over to the right at the same time, like you're trying to make a C-shaped curve in your spine. Come on up and release the arm. Draw the left arm up, cup your head, tip over, grab your chair for some support, reach the elbow over and the rib cage over to the left. So the rib cage moves to the left and the top elbow moves to the right. And come back up. Turn your legs so that your knees are facing to the right. Turn back and hold the back of your chair so that you're twisting all the way around to face the back of the chair. Leave your legs as they are, unwind, and turn your torso to face back the way you came. So you're facing now the front of the chair. Swing your legs back to center and all the way over to the left. Knees facing left. Turn to face the back of the chair, hands holding the back of the chair. And turn back to face the front of the chair. Knees stay to the left. Come back to center. Interlace your hands underneath your right thigh and pick it up. Start to rotate your ankle joint around. Make big circles around with your ankle. Reverse directions. Point your toes to the ground. Heel them back and press your heel towards the ground. And release. Other side. Pick up your left leg, hold it with your interlaced hands. Roll that ankle around. Roll it the other way. Point your toes to the ground. Peel them up, push your heel to the ground, toes towards your kneecap. And let it go. Put your hands in a prayer in front of your chest. Press your palms together, and then without separating your palms, try to press your hands down towards the ground and lift your elbows towards the ceiling. It's going to be a tiny little movement. Not much is going to move. It's more of an intention than an actual movement. All right, and then relax that. Just keep your hands in prayer. Shift your hands over to the right. The whole thing is moving over to the right. Press down into your left leg and lift your right leg up. Place it down, shift your hands back to center. Shift them to the left. Push down through your right leg, lift your left leg. And place it down, come back to center. Let your hands go, give them a little wiggle, shake it off. And we're gonna come to stand behind the chair so you can hold the chair back for support. I'm gonna move my blanket so you have a little bit better view here. And separate your feet as far as feels comfortable for you. It does not matter how wide or how narrow they are, just so that you feel that you have a comfortable distance and that your feet are underneath your hips and supporting your weight well. Now, draw your weight to the outer right heel, and then into the right pinky toe, and into the right big toe. Shift your weight to your left outer heel, pinky toe, and big toe. We're going to continue moving like that, making a sort of a figure 8 with our weight shift. Right heel, pinky toe, big toe. Left heel, pinky toe, big toe. Right heel, pinky toe, big toe. Left heel, pinky, big toe. Keep it going. Rocking around, shifting your weight in this figure 8. Keep it going. Just feel the shift of weight, feel your feet, the muscles of your feet beginning to warm up. And then come to center, even weight distribution between your feet. Lift all 10 toes off the ground, spread them out as wide as you can, and put them back down again. Bend your knees just a little bit so that maybe you feel a gentle stretch in the back of the back of the ankle, sort of the Achilles tendon area. And stand tall. Lift up onto your tiptoes. Hold your chair for support. Lift up to your tippy toes. Place them back down. Bend your knees a little tiny bit. Shift your weight to your heels. Pick up your toes. And release your toes. Press up, stand tall, straight legs, nice tall spine. Bend your knees a little bit deeper now. So you're sitting into your imaginary chair pose, but you're holding for support, but sit pretty low. Sit as low as you can. All right, and then lift up onto your tiptoes. You're going to lean onto the chair for some support. Lift your heels and place them down. Shift your weight back for a moment. Shift your weight forward. Lift your heels. Heels down, weight shifts back. Again, lift up on the heels, tippy toes. Heels down, shift your weight back, stand tall. Now separate your feet so that they're wider than hip distance. They don't have to be super, super wide, but maybe as wide as the chair legs. Have a seat, again, in this imaginary chair. Once again, lift up onto your tiptoes, tip your weight forward, lift your heels. Your knees are staying bent, right? You're still in chair pose. Heels down, weight shifts back towards your heels. Your knees are bent. Shift forward, lift your heels. Heels down, shift your weight back one more time. Shift your weight forward, lift your heels. You're on your tippy toes with your knees bent. Heels down, shift your weight back, stand up and relax your legs. Maybe give them a little shake. That's a lot of work for the thighs. And then shift your weight with your feet back together underneath your hips. Shift your weight to your right foot. Step your left leg back behind you far enough that you can bend through your front knee and have your back leg straight with your heel lifted. So you're in a lunge position. Right knee is bent, left knee is straight, left heel is lifted. Keep the bend in your right knee and bend your left knee as well. So you're sinking down a little bit. Straighten the back leg, front knee is still bent. Now pivot the back foot down so that the whole foot is on the ground. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight, back foot is completely on the ground, turned out at an angle. So a warrior one shape. Just hold that for a few breaths and step forward. Widen your feet wider than the chair. Turn your right toes out to the right. Turn your left toes in just a little bit. So heel just comes a tiny bit back behind your toes. Bend into the front knee. Make sure you've got a nice centered grip on the chair with your hands. Straighten the front leg. Turn those toes back in and walk your feet back together under your hips. Shift your weight to your left foot. Step your right leg back. We're finding that lunge shape. So the left knee is bent, the right knee is straight, and the right heel is lifted. Keep the bend in the left knee. Bend the right knee as well. So you're sinking a little deeper. Press it straight again. Press that heel back. Bend the back knee, front knee stays bent. Straighten the back leg. Pivot the foot down. So warrior one. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight, back foot completely connected with the ground. Step forward, stand tall. Separate your feet, again, wider than the chair legs. Turn the left toes out. Turn the right toes in a little and bend the left knee. So you're in warrior two on the other side. Straighten your left leg, turn those toes back in. Now stay here and simply turn your heels in and your toes out as you bend your knees. So try to have the knees facing the second and third toes, so over the middle of the foot, not knocking in with your toes turned out further than your knees. So you may need to adjust the position of your feet or maybe pull your knees open wider if you have that capability. Stand up tall, straighten your legs, take a breath, let the thighs rest for a moment. And then once again, bend your knees, opening them out left and right. Now lift your heels up, coming onto your tiptoes with bent knees, just as we did before, but this time our feet are turned out and we're wide. Heels down, straighten your legs, take a breath. Bend your knees, lift your heels, stay, breathe. Heels down and straighten your legs. Now we're going to reverse that. So lift your heels with your legs straight. You're coming up onto your tiptoes. And release your heels down. Lift up, straight legs, tiptoes. Release your heels down. Now we're going to combine all of that together. Lift your heels up, straight legs. Bend your knees, keep your heels lifted. Put your heels down and straighten your legs. Okay, heels are on the ground now. Bend your knees. Now lift your heels. Keep them lifted, straighten your legs, and put your heels down. Good, okay, we're gonna do that again from the top down and from the bottom up. So lift up to your tiptoes, straight legs, bend your knees, heels are still up, heels down, legs straighten. Bend your knees, lift your heels, straighten your legs, heels are lifted, heels down, walk your feet back together, and take a breath, a little shake, a little wiggle. Okay, now come to stand on one side of your chair, the right side of your chair, just for ease of language. Make sure you've got a good grip on the chair with your hand. Take your right hand to your hip, helps a little bit with stability, and bend your knees. So you're in a little tiny chair pose. Don't go too deep, all right? A little seat down. Keep your left knee bent. Lift your right leg and cross at the knee. Cross the thighs together as if you're sitting cross-legged. Take the right leg off and step it behind the left. Take a little bow, a little curtsy, and come up and stand tall. And we're going to do that one more time. So we're bending both knees, crossing the right leg over the left for this pose. This is called eagle pose in the legs. Garudasana. And then unwind the right leg. You're going to step it behind the left in a little curtsy for Saraswati pose, because you'll often see the goddess Saraswati in this sort of curtsy pose with her instrument. And come up and stand tall. Good, give it a little wiggle. And we're gonna take it to the other side. So you can just move your body or you can move your chair. Hold the chair, hand to hip, a little chair pose, sit down, press strongly into your right leg, and the left leg lifts up and wraps over for your eagle wrap. Both knees stay bent as you unwind the top leg and step it back and take your little bow. And stand tall. One more time, bend your knees and press into your left leg, your right leg, sorry, lift the left, wrap it over. Unwind, step it back, take your little bow, Saraswati pose. And come up and stand tall and give your legs a little wiggle, a little shake. And come back to sit. I'm going to put my blanket back on. My chair is very cold without the blanket, so it's a little more comfortable like this. All right. Draw your right heel out in front of you with your leg as straight as you can make it. So you may need to sit a little bit forward on your chair to extend your leg. Keep the leg nice and straight. Lift it up. Use your hands for support. Lift it up and put it down. Lift it up. Try not to tip back. Put it down. Lift it up and put it down. Bend your knee. Other side. Reach out. Lift up and put it down. Try to keep the legs straight and try not to tip back in your chair. And again, lift it and lower it and give it a wiggle. Pound out your thighs a bit. Just give them like a little massage as if you've got little beaters on your hands. Okay, Extend your right heel again. This time keep the heel on the ground and tip forward over your legs. So you're holding the chair for support, you're tipping forward. We're looking for a lengthening of the muscles of the back of the leg. You might also feel this as a lengthening in your spinal muscles. Come back up, draw that foot back in, extend the left leg, bow down. Back up, slide the foot in, separate your knees, feet open wide, and sit tall. Again, try to have your knees facing the second and third toes so that everything is lined up. Toes, ankles, and knees are in the same alignment. Okay? And then tip over onto your right forearm and take your left hand and gently press open on your left knee. You can use your right forearm to encourage your right knee open as well. We're stretching the groins, the inner thigh area. And come on up. We're going to do the same thing other side. Tip onto your forearm. Right hand gently encourages the right knee open. Left forearm gently encouraging the left knee open. And come back up. Take a deep breath. Both arms lift high. Exhale, hands to your knees. And either stay here and just gently encourage the knees open, or maybe you bend forward a bit and encourage the knees open. Lift back up, hold underneath your knees and bring them back to the midline. Hug your right knee up, cup over the shin or under the thigh and hug it in tight towards your torso. Take a breath. As you breathe out, curl your nose down towards your knee. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. And release the leg. Draw the left leg up, cupping again over shin or under knee. Deep breath. Curl inward. Try to get your nose towards your knee. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. And release the leg. Fingertips to shoulders. Turn towards the right. Draw your left elbow towards your right knee. Come back up and to center. Twist to the left, right elbow to left knee. Come back up, turn center. Again, twist and reach, up and center. And twist, reach, up and center. Relax your arms. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Okay, hold the sides of the chair. You're going to use the muscles of your belly and your thigh and your hip flexors to lift your knee towards your chest, and you can round your spine at the same time. So it's going to look like this curly action that we did before, but we're not going to hold the leg with our hands this time. All right, so deep breath in. Exhale and curl your knee and your nose towards each other. Inhale, release, foot down, spine lengthens up. Exhale, curl. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, curl it in. and release. Other side, deep breath. Left knee to nose, curl. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, curl. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, curl. And release. Take your knees and swing your knees out left and right. Just give them a shake and a wiggle, relaxing the hip flexor muscles. Let your arms do the action. Let your legs completely flop and relax. All right. Pick up your right leg, cross the knee over the left knee. Squeeze your shins towards each other. Sit tall. If you feel a stretch in your outer hip, you might want to just stay right here. If you don't feel anything, maybe you lean forward over your legs. And come back up if you're down. Slide the right knee over to the right, crossing the ankle above the left knee. So you're in a sort of a figure four shape. You can let the weight of your right hand rest on your right knee. Don't push too hard, but you can definitely let the weight encourage the hip to open. If you'd like to bend forward here, you could, but you don't have to. If you're down, come up and release that leg back to the ground. Pick up your left leg, cross it over the right, squeeze the shins together, and sit tall. Decide if you'd like to bend forward or not. So you can stay upright and just work on this squeezing action, or you can bend forward and again, work on squeezing the shins together. Come back up. If you're down, slide the left knee to the left with the ankle landing above the right knee on the thigh. Gently encourage that left hip to open by just placing your hand on the knee. And then again, you can decide whether you'd like to bow forward or you can stay upright. If you're down, come up and unwind. Sit tall, lengthening your spine up away from your hips, lifting your rib cage off of your hips. Lift the arms, breathe in. Hands to a prayer, bring it down through the center of your heart, breathe out. Again, inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, bring it down. And one more. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, bring it down. Sit back in your chair and relax. Settle in. Make sure nothing is being gripped that doesn't need to be gripped. Soft hip flexors, soft belly, soft shoulders, soft neck. Close your eyes. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Relax the little tiny muscles around your mouth. Notice the breath in your nostrils. Feel the air as it passes across the skin of your nostrils. Draw your attention to the places, the points where your body touches the support beneath you. So the chair or the ground. Notice those points of contact, the soles of the feet and the floor, the back of your thighs and the chair. The sitting bones and the chair. The back of your pelvis or the low back, perhaps, touching the back of the chair. Maybe your middle back, maybe your shoulders, depending on the height of the chair. Notice all those meeting points. Make the connection. And then imagine that they're pressing back into you to provide support. Notice your breath. Does it feel spacious? If it doesn't, if you feel collapsed or crunched, what can you do to open up some more space for yourself? Take a deep, full breath in and let it out. Open your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. One more time to breathe in and sweep your arms all the way up overhead and draw that prayer shape right down to the center of your chest. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much.